Welcome to Art Talk Music. It's 2019, y'all, and I'm so excited to bring you this first episode of the new year. This is with the wonderful, amazing producer, rapper, and visual artist from New Orleans, Mr. Nesby Phips. We had a chance to sit down this past September at the house of Mr. John Maestas, where I usually always stay when I go visit the beautiful city of New Orleans. And we had a chance to talk about his creative process, about the state of the arts, and a little bit about making your own art, which is something wonderful that I really get inspired by when I see artists like Mr. Nesby Phips, who is known as a rapper and went to high school with people like Lil Wayne and has done amazing appearances on a lot of incredible artists' albums, but he's an incredible artist himself. And for me, to get a chance to see that from the outside, it inspires me to follow and chase my own dreams of being a visual artist myself. Now, Nesby just recently put out a brand new album that's available everywhere for you guys to go check out. The album is titled Therapy. We're going to start this episode after I finish talking with one of the tunes from that album. And I recommend everyone go check it out. I'm putting links within this description of the podcast so you can check it out, as well as links to his website so you can go check out his artwork as well, which I highly recommend you do. I look forward to seeing this man down in New Orleans again soon and hopefully doing a little bit of collaborative work with him. So y'all sit back and enjoy this track from Therapy. And thank you to Mr. Nesby Phips and John Maestas for coming on the podcast.
Hello. It seems that I've seen you before, so hello again. It's been some time since I seen you, my friend. Hello. It seems that I've seen you before, so hello again. It's been some time since I seen you, my friend, so hello.
You see what's going on, that moment where two sides of the coin join. Worlds collide, causing heads or tails. Power napping on a bed of nails. Nightmares become a break from hell before it shake up and you wake up in a world worth saving. With silver linings, the outcome all depending on how you feel about it. I saw a win inside it, so I went inside it and found light on the other side of the darkness.
Hello. It seems that I've seen you before, so hello again. It's been some time since I seen you, my friend. Hello. It seems that I've seen you before, so hello again. It's been some time since I seen you, my friend, so hello.
All right, we're live. Thank you so much for joining me, Mr. Nesby Phips and John Maestas. What's happening, you guys? What's happening, y'all?
I'm pretty good, man. How you doing, man?
Welcome back. Big chillin'.
Welcome back to New Orleans, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's great to be here in New Orleans and get to hang with you guys, man.
Yeah, we definitely hanging.
Yeah, bro. Had some salmon.
I don't think I'm hearing your mic in there, John. I don't know.
I'm not hearing them either.
Oh, really? How about now?
You're not getting a signal from him?
I'm hearing some stuff in here, but I'm not hearing him at all in the mix.
I'm not hearing him.
Right? He's definitely coming in. That's it's GarageBand.
I'm saying different. When shit, I don't know what it is. Same piece of equipment. Nothing's moved in it, right? It's not like it's a fucking laptop. When I open it up, it does something different. Like every 4 times I use it.
Yeah.
Why?
Computers are emotional, bro.
Yeah, they're like, they are.
And I heard it put best from Elon Musk on that podcast with Joe Rogan. He was,
I gotta watch that. Is it good?
Oh, it's amazing, bro.
Because I love Joe.
Amazing.
the first half hour is amazing.
Really?
I mean, he starts
The
smoking
rest
weed
of it
and
sucks.
Yeah,
It does. Come on.
it does.
But the first half hour is worth it. Like the first
All right.
40 minutes or
they
so.
get into some pretty deep stuff.
Yeah, because
it's
Joe's
freak
cool,
Joe.
and I'm fond of Elon's. I'm fond of him in certain ways. Some ways, I think he's gonna kill us all.
It's like that, really?
What he talks about,
I
though,
think he's like a kind version of Dr. Doofenshmirtz, you know? At any point, you know, he could just wipe everything out.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like, I just wanted the world for myself. You know?
I could see that. From,
Yeah,
I
like,
could kinda
you
see
know, they just letting him do all this shit.
It's very disconcerting too. Like you hear more of that conversation between them, and it's just like more of an alien of him comes out. And it's just like
Exactly.
Oh, I could see that side even
Exactly.
clearer.
Like he go home and unzips his human suit and just be whatever he really is. You know what I'm saying? And I can hear you now, by the way.
suit.
You can hear him?
Yeah, no, I
right.
put it on. I put the monitor on, so it works out now.
Oh, good.
Dude,
Sound-
it's like, yeah, that shit. He talks about essentially like being the you know, like already having cyborgs in that. Let me preface it by saying, like, Joe Rogan asked the question, like, oh man, like, do you think there are already like AI, like, are there cyborgs and all that stuff? He was like, let's be real, man. Like, a cyborg is a company in the modern era. Like, without the internet and without your computer and the internet connection all working together with humans interfacing it,
It's already happening.
that is a cyborg. Like, you are already there.
This thing tells me my heart rate. This thing tells me how fast I'm going in my vehicle.
How many miles you've walked?
Yep.
I look at that every day. The stairs you go up, it's
Yeah.
scary. Yo, it's also pretty trippy whenever you're like about to go home and your phone all of a sudden pops up and tells you 15 minutes to get home.
I
As if-
don't even want to get started on
Yeah,
that.
right. As if
They
as
told
if
me to
it
go to the
knows.
bank.
Is it? Yeah.
I was in my house,
Oh.
looked at an envelope, realized I had to go to the bank. I was in the house alone. I spoke to no one. I thought to myself, this was a thought upon seeing the envelope.
Yeah.
You got to go to Chase. I walked to my car, look at my phone. It gave me the directions to Chase. And I'm not lying. And I'm not fucking lying.
That's
I'm not
the idea
exaggerating.
of-
I wasn't high that day.
Yeah.
Fuck these phones. I don't need another upgrade. I've hit my limit.
Yes. Every time it comes up, I'm always like, remind me tomorrow. Remind me tomorrow, because I'm not gonna upgrade the phone.
No,
or the software.
I don't listen. I don't need it to do anything more for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have that. I don't have before I get it. Or it'd be cool if we could. Dog, we ain't gotta do nothing else. In my lifetime, like I think we've done enough. And quite frankly, I think we're doing less of what we should be doing with all of this access we got. You know what I'm saying? You know. But that's just me, though.
No,
Fuck these iPhone 10s, 11s, 12s. I got this 7. I got this 7, and I'm all right.
I just saw like an email about the XS or something like that.
Come
and it
on,
was
man.
like, I'm fucking done. I don't want to
They're
hear
not
about
going.
it.
They're just not
I don't
going to
hear about it.
At least space it out.
I messed up in moving up to the upgrade that doesn't allow you to like have the headphone jack anymore. So I had to go fucking to the Bluetooth headphones.
To the
which is-
dongle.
Yeah, and it's like you're even more just locked up, and you got all these wires and fucking signals jumping all over the place.
How
Yeah.
you say refill in Spanish? Orefi?
I got a Corona. I think we're all out of
But I did.
Oh, for real? Don't trip. Don't trip. We can get the pot going. I heard there was pot here.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
You don't want a Corona?
No, I don't drink beer no more.
I got
It's bread water. I'll take water.
There we go. It's not bong water, but
Fuck
bomb
outta
water.
here. All right. I'd rather drink hot dog water than bong water.
Yo, talk about hot dog water, man. We have a bunch of microbreweries in New Mexico, and my brother always hates on this one particular brewery that's got a double white ale, and he says it tastes like hot dog water.
Double white?
Yeah, it's delicious.
Double white?
A white ale, like a Belgium, that shit's fucking delicious, but it's really high content, so it gets you fucked up. It's like 8% or 9%. It fucks you up.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So you stop drinking beer. Why? Just because it fucks you up? Like
It's
it
bread
bloats you?
water. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
bread water. And
The
like,
yeast and all that stuff, right?
and I love, one of my favorite things to do, or at least used to be,
yeah.
was drinking draft beer on an empty stomach.
Draft beer on an empty
Oh
stomach?
man, I would
Why?
get
Just like-
fucking blasted off that shit. Like, cause the buzz would come ultra fast, cause
Oh
like
my God,
nothing's
right
in
away,
me.
yes.
But at the same time, I'm getting full, cause it's technically bread water. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So
Yes.
it was like the perfect storm for me.
Yes. Yeah.
It got to be ice cold though. Draft beer on an empty stomach used to rock.
And all the cool stuff that's in the pipes or in the tubes or whatever that's coming through. Oh yeah, that's fun. Claro. Claro que sí.
So Nesby, tell me about what you've been up to creatively, my man. I know that like I first met you through the Grid hip hop band here in town,
Yeah.
and playing with John playing as the guitar player in the band, and the album that came out with a lot of rappers and a lot of MCs, but I remember your track as well as just like meeting you at AJ's house and really kind of connecting with you. And remember you were into Narcos at that point, so you were like, man, I want to check out Colombia, man.
Yeah, I do. Look, I was just because my homeboy in Panama right now, and I just realized how close Panama City is to Medellin, and I want to.
I always used to. I've been going
bad.
there every year since I was pretty much born, and we used to always stop through Panama City. That was always the way.
Yeah,
It would suck to get stuck there or have to sleep overnight.
right. But yeah, I definitely, I still won't go there, bro. I just think South America and just like I don't want to call it Spanish because I know that's just technically the language they speak, but just all of those South American countries and all that shit culturally and geographically, like because I realized I think from watching Narcos that Colombia is the flower capital or something.
Yeah, that's right. It's the number
Come
one
on, man. Come on,
importer
man.
of flowers to the United States.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Who doesn't want to go to the flower capital? That's like going to the fucking titty capital. Like sign me up.
Yes.
It's not. It's nothing like the sardine capital of the world.
Yeah, right.
It's an experience there
We got
because
Seattle.
it's right on the equator. And
Yeah, it's on the equator. I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to sound like a fucking know-it-all.
No, but because of that, it's
We
the
got to
eternal
distribute
spring.
this shit lightly.
They literally have spring year round. So
Right.
in their wintertime, it's just raining.
Come on, man. Jizz in my
that's
pants,
beautiful.
right?
Yeah.
Spring all year round.
It's
Come on,
gorgeous.
dog.
It is gorgeous
Come on,
in wonderful weather to, of course, blossom flowers all over the place. And in Medellin, they have the Feria de las Flores, which is a festival that they close down the freeway.
Say it
and
again
have
slowly.
The Feria de las Flores.
Feria de las Flores.
Yeah, which is the festival of the flowers that they close down the highways and the freeways for to march down men carrying flowers on their back as well as horses and ponies, and the experience is gorgeous, man. I still have not yet made it to one, but I've seen tons and tons of pictures and videos, and
we gonna go.
yes, we're gonna go, bro. It's end of July into August. Yeah, Colombia's a special place, man. Yeah.
But
Is that a Phips ashtray or what?
Brazil.
No, it's a Brazilian ashtray.
I remember there was a Phips lighter that was going
Yeah,
around.
I got him in the car actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I took him out of these pants.
Easily
Nope.
one of my favorite pieces of merch ever.
Yeah,
bro.
that's such a
it can't
badass
be.
idea.
I've
for
been doing
merch.
that for 10 years straight.
Really?
It's been my number one piece of merch. I keep them on me. They're technically their business cards. I had somebody hit me up on IG the other day, said, I didn't know who you were until I saw your lighter one day. And I was like, boom, job done, right? That's fucking one
That
dot.
was
I'm not
the
telling you
idea.
how much I paid for it, but it's money well spent. Money well spent. Money well spent. Because everybody uses lighters multiple times a day. A merch t-shirt
Yes.
isn't nearly as much impact as a lighter is.
Yo, but I just want to say the one thing that I remember seeing about you when you were, I think you would come out with an album, or it was before the time that you came out with an album, but you were promoting all aspects of your creative output as being things that people could support you and follow you through.
Yeah.
So you had paintings out there.
Yep, still
You
do.
had of course, you had all of these aspects of you as an artist.
Yeah, so
which
what
was
I tell
something that
people
admire.
nowadays,
Tell
and
me
it's,
about that,
it's
yeah.
funny because now I'm a creative, right? And to put it in to a box for the simple minded, no disrespect by saying such, so they can get it.
Yes.
I tell them I'm a multimedia artist because I can create content within the realm of music, art, and film in any and every aspect of it, in and out of it. I could do it, and what's weird about it to the world or from the outside looking in, it's a wide spectrum to cover.
Yes.
But I approach all disciplines with the same format, the same formula. Like I see everything that I create no different from the instructions on the back of a pack of noodles. You know what I'm saying?
How so?
Mm-hmm. Excuse me. It's the who, what, when, where, and why effect. Scientific experiment. Because I'm not classically trained or formally trained. Nothing I do. Never had art classes. I had an art elective one time, but I had been drawing long before it, and it was an art elective. Like, let's be for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Formal training in music, I couldn't get with it. It just didn't vibe with me. Like, I understood how to read the notes. I just wasn't feeling it. Like, I don't want to do it like this. That was with a violin. That was with a violin class. I took that, and but I grew up with like a piano in the crib, saxophone in the crib, 2 flutes, a piccolo. I got a guitar at one point, got a snare drum, saved my lunch money, got a snare drum and shit.
So, but where did music come from initially, though? Were you like,
I was around it.
Was your mom or dad musicians?
All those instruments I just named
were theirs?
Yeah. All the instruments I named were theirs.
So they were teaching you even like her.
They didn't teach me. The shit was just there. You feel me? Like that was the items that was around for me to be curious with.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, as a child, because I went through everything else of theirs too. Stuff I ain't about to talk about. You know, your mom went to work. You went through their drawers. You know, what the fuck y'all be doing? You know what I mean? But in the living room, we had this little, because my dad, it was a Worldline upright piano. He'd only play it when he was drunk. And on the side of it was all these cases. They used to be stacked up. Old school cases too. I fucking love old music cases, dog. I like the smell, the velvet in the inside of the flute.
There's a story.
Yeah, all that. I love it, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like Ray Charles could have touched this shit. It just looked like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you hit the little buttons on, that bitch flick over like. You know that? Yeah, dog. It feel like a treasure chest.
Yes.
It's just, I don't know. It's just nostalgic to me. And see, as far as my creative process, all of that shit matters more to me. All the shit that I just named, just like the experience of opening it, matters just as much, if not more, to the creative process than understanding what a treble clef is. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like, because to me, like that type of shit, treble clefs, and just a loose example of just anything technical, that's the science of it. I was always into the art of it. Like, how did they make music before they wrote the shit down, motherfucker? Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, so, and that's how I approach everything. Like painting, it was trial and error. You know, I got this one painting I did called Baby Girl that it clicked with me. How to lay color to make sense on the canvas made sense to me. Like, cause I used to try to paint. Like, one of the things I learned with that was my whole life I would try to paint the actual image. You know, by lines, like by drawing it. But then I realized, don't try to draw the nose, highlight the light on the nose. And then the nose will be created. The pieces of it was what was lit, like dark, like a light strip down the middle. Then you put a dark ring to give the contrast, so they know that's where the nose curve at. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so would you say it's all in the shading?
Shading, you know what I'm saying? You just laying down shades and how you put the light up against.
I couldn't agree more, man. My father is a painter and a sculptor.
What's his?
And he like, his biggest thing is being able to, like sit and draw or do sculptures when we're on the road. And so that experience of
sculptures on the road. That sounds intense.
No, it sounds
really
something
simple. You need to be stationary to do, right?
Yeah, you definitely got to be stationary, but it's like we're driving all across the country, so he'll be
like I'm a mobile welder.
Yeah, right, exactly.
As long as you bring the stuff, my wife drives.
Yeah, I'm out back by the garbage. Hope I don't set anything on fire. Yeah, but really, it's that experience of like him constantly doing it. He says it's always been his favorite hobby, and that experience of him sitting down and me studying it. Like, he's gifted me some of his sketchbooks. So, like the first 30 pages of it are sketches. He's got fucking books and books and books of them. But the ones that I look through, and when I try and do those things, specifically like the stuff that I'm trying to create with my welding sculptures and stuff, is all about shading, man. Because it's just angles and all this stuff, and it's about how the light hits the sculpture and the shade comes into the picture, and it's just like, it's profound, man. Because he does it all with a pen and a paper.
Exactly,
and it's like, you don't need anything else. Like, pencil's fine, but like, he sits on the airplane, he sits, at airports, wherever he's at that he can be still, and draws, or wherever we're at on the road, then he sculpts. And it's like that experience of constantly doing that thing, but finding the shading through it and how the light hits. And then in his experience and in my experience is then trying to take that 2D thing of shading and realizing it in a 3D with like whatever medium it is. If it's cast sculptures, bronze sculptures in my dad's case, or if it's fabricated metal sculptures in my case.
I can't wait to go there. I know I will, but I just can't wait to do it.
Yo, I hit you up a long time ago about collaborating, so we're definitely gonna do some stuff like that. But it's not that hard, man. And it's just the connection of like seeing and being around those instruments of expression, right? It's like, if it's painting or if it's sculpting or if it's whatever, it's just like having the tools to do it. Like you're talking about having the tools of music. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you grew up around that. Like I grew up around a studio full of tools to work with metal, because it was like, you know, that was how I bought my first guitar, was like working, you know, grinding metal for my dad on his sculptures to pay for my first electric guitar.
That's gangster, though.
But that shit was like always terrible for me, and I was like, I hate this shit, until I like started doing it to the point to where I was like, oh, I can actually make some of my own shit and like start selling it and doing what you were doing, which was something that inspired me back then, as well as I saw this painter in Florida that inspired me to do that shit. She was younger than me. She was sewing in a booth.
You mind if I go live?
Yeah, absolutely. Nah, come on, bro. Absolutely.
See what happens if I do it.
Yeah. Is that on Facebook or is that on Instagram?
Instagram.
Beautiful, bro.
Keep talking, though.
So the vibe is inspiration through exposure, man, and that shit's fucking awesome. You know?
Yeah, it's just all about exposure and like just seeing new materials. They're all ingredients.
Yeah.
Like I'm going back to the creative process. It's just like what are we making here?
Yes.
Oh, a song? All right, well, what do you make songs with? Melodies? All right, who got a melody? You know, like know, like what are we doing? Painting? All right, what are we painting with? Oils, acrylics, blood, what the fuck are we using? You know? All right, this is our medium. All right, well, we want to paint. All right, boom, to paint this. Because everybody can do it. And one thing I always want children to understand, or one perspective I'd like to offer to a young mind, let me be more clear about it, is that, say, like, to me, writing ain't nothing but drawing sound. Mm-hmm. So, with, you feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, what are we writing? Words. What are words? That shit we be saying, you know? Because words wouldn't exist on paper if we ain't see them first. You know what I'm saying?
And you're drawing the picture with your words.
Huh?
And you're drawing the picture with your words in a way, right?
Yeah. It's like a synergy of just creating, you know? And some people look at it like, because a lot of people discredit themselves as artists, going like, some people say, you know, I wish I could do that.
That's right.
I'm like, dog, can you write your name?
Yeah, come on. Like,
all right, so to a caveman, you're fucking brilliant. All right?
Yeah.
Like, you're like a primitive artist, but you're an artist nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you could... Like anybody with a voice could sing. There's a note in you. You just may not have found it. You haven't been tuned yet. And I get it. Some people have perfect. I've learned, especially from being around y'all now. Like this is the most my musical world made sense, going from my childhood to when electronics got in my hand and I became a rapper. And like those two worlds make more sense being around y'all now, right? Like actual musicians.
Yeah.
When I'm saying y'all.
I feel that.
Fuck! I just lost the train of thought. I got a moment. What was I saying right before this?
We were talking about
how it all connects. All right, so
being around musicians and how that
connects. So like and being an artist, like a visual artist, you're just writing what you see. You feel me? It's literally drawing and writing is the same thing. I'm drawing sound. It ain't nothing but fucking curves and straight lines. To me, that's the ones and the zeros is a binary code to creating for me. And that's it. You know? That's all it is. You know, like, and sound ain't no different from letters. It's all relatable. Writing an essay is no different from painting a portrait to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all the same thing. And that's how I see everything that I do. And it took me a while to accept that. Because I see it so simple, it took a while for me to accept that everybody don't see the world like me. Because I was like, all I see is the ABCs of it. Anything complex... I don't know, anything I see, if I can't make it make sense on the ABC level, it almost doesn't make sense to me. I believe nothing's complicated. You know what I'm saying? Like, we complicate it. We can complicate it. You know what I'm saying? But not, like, everything, if you just get down to the primary colors of it, like, we can figure it all out. Like, say, like when I paint, I don't buy no other colors. I buy 5 colors: white, black, red, blue, yellow. Like, I don't buy purples. Like, I don't need them.
You make those.
I got red and blue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, and all right, so that's painting. Same thing for making beats. I never had, like, I've possessed a lot of drum sounds. I would only use like 8 tops. I got like 20 gigs of drums. I use 8 wave file drums. You know, and this would justify my thinking of it, because you know, I think my homie told me this. All these huge hard drives of sounds we have to create, greater music has been made, or the greatest, all the classics. Jimmy was with 4 fucking instruments.
Oh, totally. And like all of their creativity.
The same guitar on everything. Mm-hmm. They just ran it through the different, you know, they made that one thing do a lot of things. And nowadays we just have a lot of things that do one thing. If that makes sense to you.
I can see that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm the guy that likes to make the most out of a little bit. Like the simplest things are the best in life. You know what I'm saying? Like chicken fingers.
There's elegance in simplicity, man.
Absolutely. Without
a doubt.
Man, less is more. Like, and I'm learning to do less. And I've learned the most brilliant things to people as a creative, because there's what we making and there's how the world see it.
Yes.
And often when you create things, you see it for the pieces in the process and not the whole.
That's right.
And once I learned to start seeing things from both sides of the mirror, I started understanding when something was complete. Or when complete to the world, to me, is good enough.
Yes.
It's good enough to fly. It's good enough to pass.
What's up, Sandy,
you know? Yeah, so, damn, I lost train of thought. Complete. What was I
just
going?
Having that, I feel like what you were talking about was something I vibe with big time, which is like having a full perspective on the thing that you're creating.
Yeah, dog.
Audio, visual, color, textural, touch, smell, sensitive.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to know the laws of stuff. Like you know, that's all I'm concerned with. And with that, I can become what. That's why I love the book The Alchemist so much. I just love the concept of alchemy. That's what I feel like I am. You know what I'm saying? Like we can turn an idea. And this is so crazy because to go even deeper, like we can't even take credit for the shit we doing. Like these things are coming to us. Like I didn't create this. Like these words were here before me. The sound was here before me. And I wake up with songs in my head and I didn't intend to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was just being and this happened.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. Like so
antenna,
and my brother through conversation with him, I learned not to be a narcissistic artist and allow myself to be just as plain as that bass is being right now. It's just there to be used. You know what I'm saying? And stop being like, you know, I'm the musical genius who created X, Y, and Z, and you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have that entitlement to my creativeness. Though I'm proud of the things that I've done, and I love to be recognized for them. I don't feel entitled or like, you know, extreme ownership. These things were given to us. I remember being in New York. I was writing a song I did called Inside Looking Out. This song was writing itself. And it was always like I had an out-of-body experience. I'm talking about lyrics. I was having an out-of-body experience, and I vividly remember like writing on the paper the rhyme, and I was like, dog, I had like 3 cats in the room, including Ski Beats. I was like, dog, I don't know who writing this right now. Like that was a literal experience, and I was just that in tune. Let me give you because that was in roughly 2010ish, and let me just give you an idea of where I was as a creative. Like I traveled with a laptop. I was making beats in the airport, waiting on a fucking standby flight. Like I was just almost always in the moment of just creating and getting to it. It was just pure. It was just raw, and I just got into it because I was just being as opposed to trying. I was just living life, and songs would come, and that had to be one of the purest writing experiences that I've ever had.
What age were you around that time?
29, maybe. 29.
I just turned 29 on Friday, bro.
Really?
So
that's when things started to take off for me. I've been making beats since I was 17, been rapping since I was 10. I didn't really start trying to do it till I was about 21, 22.
Yeah, getting
and I can't say that I had significant amount of success. Like my straw really turned into gold around 2009. You know, I became something. I made moves, and like I'm a part of an era of hip hop, no matter how big or small.
This one?
Yes. No cursing. This song wrote itself.
We could just like put it in later.
soapbox, I see my people failing. I try to walk it like I talking in a Jesus fashion. I ask myself, well, what he do inside these circumstances? He told me, Phips, go fishing, you here to feed the masses. So now I catch the murky waters, working till I'm nauseous. Only to pull back my neck to find it's filled with all sticks. Now my hand forced it. Witness the plight of the man on the inside looking out. I paid the price for the right to put it down. People is looking out. Rome wasn't built in the day. My house won't be found on shaky ground. Witness the plight of the man on the inside looking out. I paid the price for the right to put it down. People is looking out. Rome wasn't built in the day. My house won't be built on shaky ground. To be in charge, you gotta get your balls up and learn the ropes and how to keep your guard up. And move your feet regardless, whether or not the sun shine. I learned them after rainy days as well as drops of all kinds. The food is brought from my vine, cause I've been saving up a pound of this. And I can charge what I want, cause I'm the only one around. With it being said, the piece of taking strikes in my head. Couple my mothers pray for my faith every night from my bed. And I'm thankful, so thinking and breaking I can't do. I know we send me your angel, won't let it be in vain too. Who say the game? You gotta go through all of this pain too. Take a walk in my side and see how much it'll change you. Before you jump, see if your feet is that deep in the mud. And it's so even to slow that even deeper to love. Finding confident knowing I share the struggle of others. Down to the he who shed the blood of my brother. Witness the plight of the man on my inside looking out. I paid the price for the right to put it down. People is looking out. Rome wasn't built in a day. My house won't be found on shaky ground. Witness the plight of the man on my inside looking out. I paid the price for the right to put it down. People is looking out. Rome wasn't built in a day. My house won't be built on shaky ground.
To me, because of the process, because of the process in which I made that song, that's gonna be one of the most beautiful songs I wrote to me. For like, it hadn't changed yet. Like that, just creatively, that moment. Again, I see things for the process. You know, like I say in one song, people say it's a classic, but to me, it's just a session. Cause what you seeing, I ain't seeing, cause I'm too busy being. Like a tree ain't gotta say it's a tree. Too busy treeing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so that's he's like has an oak tree ever said hi? Yeah, I'm the oak tree, and this is what I do. Nah, like you know about it because he was just doing what he do. You know, so like that, like that's I literally just I was a being when I wrote that. I was just being. I wasn't forcing. I wasn't thinking. That shit just rolled, and it was eloquent. I didn't curse. You know, there's a lot to be said about that when you come with raw energy as a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Just how everything flowed together. It was articulate. Like if I could do this as a spoken word piece just as much. You know what I'm saying? And it's so
a slam poet piece too. You know?
It not necessarily a slam poet, but like it's just beautiful poetry written down. You know what I'm saying? Like even without the music, the words. You know. They tell them Phips go fish. They told them Phips go fishing. You here to feed the masses. No, I said what I said. I try to walk it like I talk it in the Jesus fashion. I asked myself, what would he do inside those circumstances? He told me, Phips go fishing. You here to feed the masses, like Jesus. You know what I'm saying? With the 5,000, you know, whatever. So now I cast in murky waters, working to something, only to pull back my net to find it's filled with all slicks. Now my hand forced it. So and that got a lot of meaning to it because I'm from New Orleans. There was a BP spill. Fisherman industry was hit at the time. You know what I'm saying? So like that was real rap to me. It wasn't just a line. It really spoke to. You know what I'm saying? This was like in the double meanings on Jesus, but then that's actually happened and how I wedged those two things together. Like that's the fun part of writing. I just took you on a wild journey. It got like everything I say for a reason. I never say it just to say it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're like talking and acting and commentating on exactly what's happening in the moment.
Yeah, and there's something pure about that. Because most people right now, they don't niggas be making up moments. I don't know, like people contrive things these days for shock value. You know what I'm saying? But just to say what's real and to use what's really there to create. You know what I'm saying? It's just the dopest shit ever. I don't know. Could be the weed talking though.
Yeah, well. I definitely feel like you're right in the sense of that, like, you know, you got to be doing. You got to be walking the walk. You got to be
it's
doing.
happening.
Just go for it.
It's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you just got to keep rolling with it. Like, life is happening. You could be like a lot of people say, like, we're writer's block. I tell people, do nothing. Stop. You know, I wouldn't fucking don't write. It's like, get off the pot. You ain't got a shit. You know what I'm saying? Go eat something.
Go eat something. Yeah. Cook yourself a meal.
You know what I'm saying?
Go outside.
Off your ass.
Yeah, like just stop writing. It's not time to write. And I've gotten comfortable with not writing and not creating and stuff like that.
There's an experience to that because you're almost kind of like holding the faucet, you know, and then
you
finally do sit down. It's almost like you're like, fuck, like, oh shit, I just gotta like sit and work this idea out. Like that's a beautiful. It's almost like taking a great shit.
Yeah, it's all about that.
It's beautiful.
Every system is about that. Every system you have to push something down and put something new back in it.
Yeah, man. You know,
air. You know, like just name it.
It's an experience.
Yeah,
yo. But
I saw this movie, Waking Life. If you ever get a chance, you know about it. You heard about it. The animated joint. The dude said to be in constant departure while always arriving. Think about it.
Constant departure
while always
forward thinking and planning, and just like having your sights set on the best movement to go forward. What's the best step, you know? But always pushing forward. Forward motion.
And it's to be aware that there's a next step and what is it, but then also like it's gonna present itself.
Just in how you live your life. If you live your life
the
true
answer just presents
to who you are.
Yeah,
you know?
I only like living by those rules. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like to keep it natural. You know, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of standard questions people ask me. I can't give an example right now, but standard questions people ask. Like, some people they ask you a question with a desired answer as opposed to wanting to know what you really think. And if it doesn't match that, they'll tell you, like, that's not the right answer. That's not what you know, people try to tell me what my answer should be.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I a lot of times I have the most awkward answers. Some stuff that's not even an option based on the question they pose, but how I see it trumps your question. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you can be asking the right question to the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's
true.
Yeah,
like, you know, you can't. There's a certain way people pose questions. Say like a Christian will pose a question to someone who's a non-Christian, and it doesn't fit in their realm of. My answer don't fit in your realm of understanding because you working with the Christian box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
This is like English versus Arabic. It's a whole different set of letters.
Yes.
It's not even 26 letters. You know what I'm saying? Like you feel
a lot more going on in play.
Yeah, it's like a whole nother thing. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know. Another tangent, but go ahead. What's next?
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. I think the experience of like dealing with religions and definitely going down that road of like having the conversation with people is a trip, but also just like, I mean, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, like when you truly throw yourself into the expression of doing and doing and doing as opposed to just like thinking about it, it's an experience for you creatively as opposed to just sitting on your ass, you know?
Yeah.
What age were you when you put out that song?
29. 2010, 29.
That's tight.
Yeah,
nice.
Because I made my birthday's in December, so
December
whatever
what?
year, December 15th, and I was born in 1980. So whatever year, I was born in an even year. So whatever year it is, I was, -1. So it was 2009. I was 20. No, 2010. I was 29. That's how I keep up with my age. Sometimes I don't give a fuck to keep up, but if you say a number, I can help you. Yeah.
So how old are you now?
37.
And so what's next as far as like recordings and as far as...
So I got an album called Therapy that I've been recorded that I've been should have put out. I actually recorded it before I did Black Man for Sale, which I did last year. Like this album led to Black Man for Sale. I did it with Prospect. We did it in 2014 roughly. And he and I were frustrated with our experiences as musicians that we have been having in the studio recently, because just working with various artists. He's an engineer, and it could be gut-wrenching experiences when people just kind of forcing the creativity and it's coming in, people just doing cookie cutter shit, And he and I are raw artists. He plays like every instrument, and he's very technical on Studio One, and like recording wise. And he and I did our approach to it was we got a fucking 6 or 12 pack, whatever we could get our hands on. we'd go in there and we wouldn't think. The first note he played, he kept it. And whatever he played after that, he kept it. Like we you know what I mean? We
Just
wasn't
like that.
we
Roll
were,
the tape.
like regardless of what we played, we kept it. And whatever I wrote, we kept. Half the time I wasn't writing, I just get in there, I'm gonna say this, then we stop. I'm gonna say this, you know, and then, you know, like it's been a time or two throughout that process. I went back out, got it together on paper and came back and put it down. But it was just a raw approach. And we were knocking out whole songs in 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like whole songs, like compositions.
Is that usual for you, like to be able to work with somebody and put a song together within 30 minutes? Because I mean, I've had that experience.
Not with a
one time in my life.
live, not in a live setting.
Right.
Not with a live musician.
In that moment, in the studio.
He was, because again, he's the musician and the engineer.
Right.
So he was able to like just play the keys straight through, come back with the drums, play it straight through, come back with the bass, play it straight through. That's how he laid it. We worked with about 4 or 5 tracks per beat. You know what I'm saying?
And who is this guy you're talking about?
Prospect. And while he's doing that, I'm writing to the shit. You know, and I'm it's not taking me long because I'm not thinking, I'm saying.
Yes.
You know, I'm just saying shit. And a lot of times I'll hum and come and keep that cadence because I write cadence first and then fill it in with words. It's like building a mold.
Really?
Yeah. Ain't that how they do it with sculpting? Don't they make a mold?
I mean, they make this in the way that we make it. We make the lost wax process, which is you make the oil-based clay sculpture first, and then you make the mold of the
around
sculpture.
that. All right, so I get it. All right, I feel that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, my writing is a mold. It's cadence first always. It's cadence first, and then
You fill it in.
you're feeling it. And like I'm singing on it,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like you know, I'm singing on like 2, maybe 3 songs.
Have you sang on other albums like
I
that?
have loosely, but this one I'm you know, some of
Going
them
in?
some of them I'm stacked. I'm doing tenors, I'm doing altos.
Wow.
You know, like I'm doing vocal production.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? But this all sound like some back of town nigga on the corner type shit. But it's soulful though. You
No,
know
but
what
I
I'm
know
saying?
you said you.
Yeah, it is.
It's
I know
like
you said
bro.
an untuned, soulful old guy.
You got the singer in you, dog.
Yeah,
Like,
look, let me tell you something. I would treat it all to know how to sing. You heard me? Like if I had that sweet voice, if I could work my voice,
I know,
like
bro.
Jimmy could work a guitar, like Marvin could. If I could handle my voice in that manner, oh man, y'all wouldn't be able to shut me the fuck up. I'd be in fucking Chicken and Watermelon. I need a 10-piece. You know?
10 piece.
Yeah, boy, I love song, bro, and I like melody too. And I'm, you know, being a rapper, I'm starting to understand how to write less and kind of lean more towards the melody, and not be so wordy, you know. Just, you know, because we put out another thing I learned as a band, working with the band. Nobody puts out more words in a song than a rapper. Like the average standard R&B, rock, whatever, is like a 4-line fucking verse. Go back to the hook. Another 4 lines. So that's total of 8, 16 maybe.
Probably like, what,
Maybe a
90
bridge.
90 words or so? What would you guess?
I don't know how many words because I'm thinking in music.
All right.
But
yeah.
it's a bridge.
yeah, but like you could just make one. You can make one word last for the whole line. You know what I'm saying? Because the music carrying the whole 9.
Yeah.
Like, but no, I probably in a song sometimes 16 times 3. Then you add the hooks too, dog. You know, I'm coming in at over 70 something bars of different lyrics. You know what I'm saying? That's and I'm doing 10 songs today. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot. We crank out a lot of rhetoric.
Sets.
A lot of rhetoric. That's the word I'm looking for. There's a lot of rhetoric that we put out when we could be carrying our shit, you know, way lighter. Damn, I forgot how I got here too, but
It's all
what
about
is
the arrival, right? Shit.
so what is it like when you hit the wall though? Like, do you get like the writer's block? Is that a thing for you? I mean, because you express yourself through all mediums, which is beautiful and profound. So it doesn't.
Stop.
Right?
I stop because again, as I was saying, I don't know if it's recorded or not, but it's not me doing it.
Yeah.
If
It inspires you in the moment you follow
to
it and capture it.
understand, to overstand writer's block is to know that it's not you creating.
Interesting.
The ideas come. Like, where are the ideas coming from? You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, you're not doing it on your own. Don't think you're that cool. All right? Like,
And at what point is like you thinking about wanting to do something inhibiting you from it actually happening.
All of that.
Letting it happen.
Yeah, like you wanted it too bad, now you got the pussy, you can't get hard. You just wanted it too bad. Like,
Yeah.
that's what writer block is. Man. That's what writer block is. Getting that pussy, you can't get hard for it.
It's just like,
You know what I'm saying? Because technically it's always there, but if you just chill, it's just gonna get moist and just sit on it. You know what I'm saying? And that's when, and it feels like that, you know, when it happens.
Nice
like,
and round Verto.
yeah, man.
Ready for you.
Yeah, just let the music happen to you, dog, and just document that. And most people try to make the music happen. Make the music happen to you. And then, say like as an MC, there's an undeniability factor when it comes to writing a song. Even more so to your song actually taking effect on an actual audience, right? But in writing a song, like there are some beats that come on that will make a motherfucker that don't rap. Like you just gotta say something to it. That undeniability. That you didn't make that happen, that happened to you. Because you're not even a rapper, and you're fucking rapping, dog. You know what I'm saying? And then, after you're making music, just the other side of the point, the undeniability factor. Some songs just work. Like it's like you don't have to force songs. Like the people are gonna let you know when you play it if this is a hit or not. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like
you can always tell.
A song that makes you dance is literally that. You know what I'm saying? Is what you just made and play for these people making them dance. No, it's not working. We'll make something else. And keep going until you find that. And then find why that happened. And then try to find more ways to do something with that. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like you ain't got to force nothing on the scene. Like people, when I don't like something, that's how, you know, I pick beats and shit. Like, it's like when I be in the studio with AJ, I'd be quick to tell him just go to the next song.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that. Like, if it's the jam, the words gonna come. And every song I've written for the last, I don't know how many, somebody else started, some other worldly being. Yeah. I just wrote it down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So.
And you feel it, like you feel that connection too. Like as soon as you hear something and it catches your ear and you start losing your thought.
I can't deny it. It's like taking a shit. You don't force yourself to shit. Your body say, "Oh, time to let it go."
It's time.
All right, and it just seep into your mind. Like, boom, say this, say this. All right, say this, say that.
Yeah,
you know. And then when I get stuck, so I respect it when I get stuck. Sometimes I don't see things all the way through, and I've been better lately at collaborating and bringing it to somebody. What you hear coming after it, because my voice stopped. What the little man in your head say? You know what I'm saying? No. And you know, and some of the most beautiful music that we praise to this day, it was so many souls and energies and minds put into it. A lot of stuff is like very singular. One guy did it all. You know what I'm saying? Timbaland did the whole beat. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Before, man, it was 4 or 5 guys in the room getting to it. Yes. Telepathy going on. Yes. They knew when to turn that shit. And you know what I'm saying? It was more of an experience going on. You know, and that resonates to, like, all those are key ingredients. Again, just as important as the treble clef to have that element. That's why when people try to remake a composition from back, you know, people try to remake samples, they just sound so flat and dead and stickmanish. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because it's missing all the other layers that was wrapped around that melody, that chord, you know.
The importance of layers, man.
Oh, bro. Oh, man. So
I was thinking, when you were talking about that too, I was thinking about all the great studios that had so many different, like, amazing artists that went and recorded there, and it was all a product of that same process of having a bunch of dudes in the room,
and each of them
people in a room.
And every room is different. Every room is different.
Every room is different.
And every room matters, and every technique that they use matters. I love how some people, because nothing was, I mean, the recording process was always about what feel right, what sound right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I love how many people just went unconventional in doing that. And anytime anybody use anything out of the ordinary, let's try it all. Let's squeeze the rag on it all. You know what I'm saying? All that amazes me. Like I listened to the Blue Note. Madlib got the album, you know, when he invades the Blue Note Records vaults.
Yeah,
and he got the interviews of them talking about the recording processes.
Mm-hmm.
I love hearing that.
Bro.
You know how Elvin Lyons knew how to draw something out of somebody, or how to make something sound like, you know, like this, like just people who are in touch with the elements. Well, if I put a pan in front of that bitch, like a frying pan, it'll bounce back into the mic and sound like I fuck with the nigga that's thinking like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like that's the
trying to get to some other shit and like really put some experience and some sauce on it. You know,
dog.
Really put his.
That's what it's all about.
the whole creative.
That's how we went from discovering
together.
fire to barbecue grills. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man, when you talk about Blue Note, I fucking love Blue Note records. I've been like a super nerd for like checking out old Blue Note records since I was like 14 years old. And just because mine and Claudio's teacher, Michael Anthony, was an old Wrecking Crew guitar player in Los Angeles, like second generation of like the crew that made all the records out in LA for the TV shows and like Beach Boys, Shaft, the Flintstones, like all kinds of, like from here and all the stars, fifth generation,
right,
blah blah blah, on and man, he was like, you got to check out these Blue Note records. As we were kids studying with him, so I got so deep into that, and like Rudy Van Gelder, the engineer who ran Van Gelder Studios, and it was just like incredible the way he got sound. Right. That's one of the biggest reasons I got into recording at all, because he's just like, that dude really knew how to use acoustically all the space that he has and like get the best sound.
Yeah, you understand the elements.
Needs to be live and needs to be playing together and making creative music in the moment and sound the best.
Yeah.
And to get their sonic ideas across, because they're like geniuses themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
And he respected that. I love that.
In those moments, bro, that's why that music gonna always sound like it. That's to me, that's what missing. You know what I love? I love anybody that could make music that sounded like that time. For the longest, when I used to sample and just try to make beats and shit. I hear somebody remake it, but it just doesn't have that texture to it. And bands like or composers rather, like Adrian Young. The music he's done on the Luke Cage show. You watch Luke Cage?
Man, I've been meaning to check this out.
Bro,
people have been telling me about it.
You should watch it for the soundtrack alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's beautiful, dog. It's like an embellishment on what Isaac Hayes and them was doing and Curtis Mayfield and them was doing. Like the recording process, it doesn't sound digitized and quantized. This is real compositions. It sound beautiful and warm and edgy and soulful. Like Adrian Young killing it. He's been able to replicate it. Lee Fields and the expressions. The music they record. Charles Bradley, the music he's recording. Bad Bad Not Good, the music they're recording. That shit still sound like it came off of. It came out of '69. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, bro. That shit feel good.
I love that feeling too of music that's like saying something new and of today, but like utilizing a sound palette that's a little older, or like, maybe they're not even like doing too much other than making music on like shitty equipment, and it's got that vibe. But I dig that.
Yeah,
make that shit.
I don't give a fuck what you did it on. And we be so technical now, like, we gotta have whole laptops to do it. So you could have a tape recorder, fam, and record.
Not even you. All you need is like a smartphone.
Yeah,
I mean,
and like the entire production studio is in the smartphone. That's one of my favorite things about being of
this generation,
like being this generation, and being like lucky to be born while technology is advancing at an expenential rate.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's the word I always use. Because it is advancing at an exponential rate.
Yeah, what I mean? Like, you talk to people, like you listen to people talk like Ray Kurzweil and...
I heard him talk at South by Southwest in 2012.
Wow.
Man, he's Elon Musk to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a lot of ways.
Yeah. What did he talk about when you heard him?
That was one of the first times I heard somebody really talking about exponential growth. Because he was on stem cell research by then. You know what I'm saying? We talking about a guy who used to make keyboards. Now he's in here in a room full of fucking 3,000 people at South by Southwest telling us about how to make replications of live shit. Like, I can make your ear, I can make you a whole nother you. Like, this guy went from Herbie Hancock to fucking Dr. Doofenshmirtz. You know what I'm saying? But there's a basic concept that he gets about all of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he understands the formula. He got that mind, and that's what I noticed about him. He talked about just how fast the changes are being made now. Before it took 20 years to change the way we consume music or what we consume it on. And we had a fucking 20-year run with CDs. Now there's almost a new format, a new place and space and whatever to use something like every 8 months. You know what I'm saying? There's some new platform. there's some new way to consume music. And that's happening in 8 months before it used to take 20 years. So he was like, just be prepared, like start getting your mind ready for big quantum leaps in technology and like OSs, generally speaking.
VR, all that stuff.
Like it's about to happen at rates you ain't gonna understand. Total concepts crush. Shit that we once thought was wizardry is about to really, your child can do it now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Exponential growth is what he talked about, like in preparing yourself for what the future is gonna hold. Because I was in 12, and just think about how much more advanced we are from 12 to now. Just how many tools as artists right now that we have from 2012 to now. Everything is at your fucking disposal, and it's like pretty soon we're gonna be able to lay still and create an entire world, and you don't even have to get up.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with? Well, I had two questions, but one of them right on this one was like, are you familiar with this thing called SecondLife.com?
No, this is funny already. What is Second Life?
Second Life, I think it might be like a Second Life dot something else, but it's a whole interface and use a program on the internet where people go and you create yourself an avatar and you live a second life. You create yourself in the image that you always wanted to have yourself created in, and then you can decide where you go and what you do and whatever type of powers and quests and adventures you ever wanted.
Stop the press.
And this,
Stop the press.
Stop the press.
That is serious?
Oh, yeah. You know how I found out about this? I found out about SecondLife.com because I went to Berklee College of Music for a little quick minute. And one of the seminars I went to, little talks, was a teacher who was talking about she makes the majority of her money as a musician by performing concerts on SecondLife.com. Or I'm sorry if I'm fucking that up. If it's not .com, it's Second Life. The people who know, they know, and I'm messing up. But you go in that world, and then you go and you host an event. You can like decide to throw a concert or a show or a birthday party.
A virtual concert.
A virtual concert. And
how are they experiencing this?
They're at home on their computers or with their VR headset.
That's what I was going to ask. Are they staring at a monitor, or do they have a VR headset on?
At that time, I mean, that was 2010 when I was
because right now, what I believe, that was when?
That was 2010.
Wait, right now, what I'm hearing and what I'm visualizing from what I'm hearing is that I could put on some VR shit and be a fucking Raul Magul on some VR world, and the people in this space with me, like they could be on the other side of the planet and in this virtual space with me.
Oh yeah,
that's what's sure. Like at this concert. I'm giving a concert, and that's what's happening in front of me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm about to virtually be in a room with other people who's not here. They're like way over there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how it goes. And you can sell tickets for real money payable in PayPal, US dollars,
Get
Canadian,
the fuck out of here, my friend.
Bitcoin.
Someone set him up. He is mad.
It's like, that's what she was telling
mad,
us
my
in 2010. Like,
this
yo,
man
I
has
make
gone
this
mad. That's what Ray Kurzweil was talking about.
That's some serious
y'all was born
undercover like business going on,
y'all
like in a totally legal and monetized way. You know, people making that shit.
Y'all graduated in
2008.
I mean, born in 1990?
89.
89, 90.
It was just Claudio's birthday, yeah, just a couple days ago. Fucking right.
Do y'all know?
29.
Do y'all have any memories of analog anything?
I mean, I remember cassette tapes.
You remember listening to music on them?
Oh,
that's how you was
I had a
consuming?
Walkman, a cassette Walkman, bro.
At how old?
I mean, that was like 9 years old, 8 years old.
All right. That was my senior year. That's about right. Okay.
My brother liked hip-hop music, and so I used to listen to hip-hop music on that and like work outside. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. All right. My reason being, that is the old world. That's the new old world.
Oh yeah.
That's the new old world. And
no connection to like dust cropping and like
we're the bearers. We're the bearers of that. Like as pretty soon we're gonna be the old guys who saw what it was like, and then someday they're gonna be interviewing us at 78, What was it like? I mean, it was simple. If I wanted to listen to Tupac, I just put the plastic thing in here and press play. That was Tupac.
And if the cassette got messed up, I put the pencil in it and I turned it backwards and then connected it.
They're like, so what do you mean the window didn't go down on its own? I mean, I had to put a hand on the lever and crank it down. Crank? What is a crank?
Yeah.
Because everything's solid state, right? Nothing spinning, nothing cranking no more.
And it goes down.
Yeah. You're right? That's where they're going to be at. What the fuck you mean? You could pick up a cup to drink? Like my daughter freaked out one time. I see this example all the time. I was in a manual car. She was putting them. I told her the car was off. I said, "Go put the window up." And then she grabbed the thing and she cranked it. And then she jumped back and said, "I said, what happened?" She's like, "The window just went up and the car wasn't on." I was like, "Yeah, that's how a manual thing works." But she's never been in a car that it wasn't automatic. You know, like,
oh wow,
you know what I'm saying? She didn't know windows could go up if the car wasn't on. That basic concept that in this shot, like head, she jumped back, like she was like, "Oh my god, it just went up!" Like the car not even on. Like, yeah, because it's manual.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it like sucked back in the day. Like people stole cars really easy. You know,
bro,
so easily.
So easily. It was just insane.
Man, not no more though.
Being in Albuquerque, we felt that so hard.
Still though, come on.
Where the car, there's a lot of sayings about Albuquerque, New Mexico, which are like amazing, and I love my hometown. Don't get me wrong, but like some truth that hurts. One of them was that like Albuquerque, come for the balloon fiesta and stay because your car got jacked. It's like,
because like at least 1 or 2 million people come for the balloon fiesta. It's the largest in the world.
It's terrible, but it's like we have the highest
balloons,
carjack rate, just like car theft and shit, like in the country.
The balloon. They sound like a bunch of marks. So criminals probably read that fucking brochure or saw that commercial like, yo, the hot air balloon festival?
Right.
You mean you about to be 500 feet in the air?
Yeah.
I'm going to get your fucking car. You ain't going to even know I'm taking it. It's going to be a while when you get down.
Come on, man.
That's basic mathematics. You hear me? Like,
they're not gonna be there.
Like everybody's just in the fucking air. Even if they can see me, they can't do nothing. By the time they land, I'm been in Arizona.
It's
I'm in Arizona.
genius.
Yeah, it's genius. I fucking love it. I mean, that's what the stats show.
Yeah, that's what the stats show. It's pretty insane. There's a lot of great things about that place aside from that. I'm not trying to talk bad about my city, but it's a reality.
It's a cool city, man.
You been?
I went on a tour stop.
Oh,
I ran in and out.
Did you have some red or green chili?
Nah, I don't think I did.
You don't like spicy food or what?
I do. I just didn't get the full-on experience. I was literally there for about 24 hours. I've been, and I made sure I took the hotel van. I told them, bring me somewhere, anywhere. I got to see what this place is like, because a lot of cities we go to, all we saw was hotels and venues.
Yeah.
I went around the university and ate. What college is there?
That's
University of New Mexico, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was?
Yes, sir.
All right, I went ate tacos around there.
Right.
I don't remember if I had.
Was it at a restaurant called the Frontier Restaurant?
I don't know.
The one with all the.
Was it a big restaurant?
Big Western.
Nah, it was like in a house.
In a house.
Nice.
Yeah, like in the house. It was a house type. You know.
Sick. Okay.
Yeah, it was like something small like that. It wasn't nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But it was dope. I enjoyed it. It was dope to see the geography of it with the mountains in the distance and
the stucco houses.
All of that shit. Like nobody had grass. Everybody had rocks for a lawn and shit.
Yeah, bro. That's no maintenance. Freaking.
Yeah, it's maintenance free,
bro.
right? It's like fucking Flintstones.
You gotta do shit. Yeah, you just gotta worry about the weeds.
It was the Flintstones.
It was totally the Flintstones.
Yeah. I dug it though. But it was beautiful to me. I could spend time. One thing I like to do is create in different places, and I would love to see what comes out.
Bro, when you come out to New Mexico, we'll make that happen.
I love recording. That's my, that's my journaling of my travels. I record songs where I go.
Wherever you go.
I try to, because I want to see what I'll make there.
So what's your setup that you bring? You just recording this stuff on your iPhone?
Same shit we got right now.
So you got your Behringer setup, microphone.
No, I got an audio.
You got a Focusrite.
I got a whatever. I had a Focusrite. I got a Personas.
Got you.
I got a little Personas joint I travel with, microphone I travel with, laptop. I've been doing that since everybody even been knowing who I was. Yeah. Same mic too. I've been on the same mic since 2003.
Yeah, that's what's up. My friend Logan Nix, badass drummer that is gonna be on my next record. He got me into this mic, and he was like, I was looking to get the SM7B, which is $400 mic, and it's the broadcaster's dream mic. I mean, Joe Rogan, it's the standard. A lot of people use that. And my friend was like, bro, don't fucking think about that. You don't have to save money for that. You can buy 4 SM57s for that price.
Yeah.
And look up on the presidential inauguration speeches, and they use SM57s with these exact windscreens that I have on this mic right now. Yeah. So it's like, why the fuck? I mean, the sounds is the exact same. So.
Yeah, bro, I ain't really been tripping on my mic. I love it.
The mic is solid, and you can drop it, and it works. You know what I'm saying? It's not $400 that if you drop it, it's gonna
look. I am the painter that only has like 3 brushes.
Really?
I got a big one, a kind of small one, and a small one.
All right.
And I get busy with that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what I'm doing. That's why I can't ever really teach nobody nothing. Cause I'm just doing it how I know how to do it. You know?
Oh yeah.
This ain't nothing stand about this. You know, I just learned about underpainting like 2 years ago. You know.
About what?
Underpainting.
Tell me about that.
So you lay your tone again, like we talked about painting earlier. You lay your tones down in different hues from black to white. So it's just a grayscale of your painting, and it's to get the tones down. And then when you paint your colors on top of it, it makes them look more rich. You know. So I've learned that a lot of paintings all have a painting under it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You basically grayscale your painting, and then you lay your colors on top of it.
Yeah.
That's what I understand it to be. You know, and I ain't gonna lie, it's an easier process to do it. It's less guesswork on my part when I do it. It's a dope process.
Yeah,
the painting really. Now I've discovered the missing note on how to paint. You know, and those moments are great.
Yeah,
those eureka moments in music that you figured out on your own.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
you didn't read the manual, go on YouTube for
those
it.
aha moments.
I love those.
Oh,
I love those.
I know Jono's been painting for a minute and stuff, you know, and like it's an awesome thing just to sit down and fucking. I mean, we all did it as kids. You were talking about that earlier in the podcast, and you know, it was like I have that experience. You know, I travel the country with my pops, and you know, we sell art in all these different, you know, cities, and see all these different people that come up and check out the work, and you know, they're like, oh, I love this. You know, I wish I was creative. You know, I'm not like this at all, and I'm like, yeah, you are. Like, I always argue with them, not to the extent that I'm going to shoot them off in case they're actually interested in purchasing a piece, but to the point that I'm like, yo, when we were all kids, we all did this.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
We all like sat and drew, and we all sat and sang, even if we sang out of tune.
Everybody's
got it inside them. You said that earlier,
got a song
bro.
in them.
That's right. And it's the reality of expression.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's all it is.
And
Just what you had to say. It's what you had to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's just my cover. This is my take on the world.
Yeah.
My penmanship. Everyone has a penmanship.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's
and we live in a world, and I tell my kids this when they tell me things like can't. I say we live in a world where people with no arms can write their name. So you don't tell me what you can't do.
One of my like really big inspirations here in town is this guy named Dan Caro, who was like as a kid caught in a terrible house fire and totally fucking got charred.
Yeah.
And got his whole body burned and doesn't have really hands. He has like nubs. And he is a badass drummer. Yeah. Like he plays with all kinds of New Orleans artists as a bad motherfucker because he plays the shit out of the drums. And he's like gone on to write a book and like go on a bunch of like national television shows and tell his story of just being like, go get it, you know?
Come on.
Like
man.
Quit complaining and like quit waiting.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to wait for anything.
Just do it. You just gotta do shit, bro. You just gotta do shit. And I used to overthink, you know, everything, and then I realized what happens when you just make shit happen. Like the world gonna respond to it. They gotta respond to it. Like even if it's 5 people, you know, just thankfully, the more you do it, the more people gonna respond to it. Like it amazed me who saw me do what I did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's what I wanted, and then there's what I got, and what I got by doing was way better than I imagined. It almost always is. You think you want something, and then it's like, nah, I'm gonna put the cheese on it. That's what the universe said, right? Like you tripping, you gotta put cheese on it. Like, like, you know what I'm saying? All right, like life with cheese. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. You think you know how you want your life, and then
I
life
literally had that moment with the cheese on the salmon after dinner tonight. I was like, you know what I need to put on here? Like, let me just grab a piece of this cheese.
Yeah.
It's like the literal that. No, but I understand what you mean. You got to keep reaching. You know, it's never like settle.
Yeah, never settle, and just know how to like let it come to you. You know, because it's way better than you ever thought. Like, you know, you wanted to take it from her the whole time. She wanted to give it to you. And that's two totally different experiences,
That's
right? You know what I'm talking about?
I love that though. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
bro. Yeah, man. So I've been doing some painting recently. We were talking a little bit about that, and I've been getting into the science side of painting, which is kind of like the craft, the technical side of it, and like underpainting is an amazing thing. I had checked out a little bit about, and then like people's different like concepts for their what 5 or however many tools you need, right? Like what type of brushes, what are you working with, and so like. I read a few books like about from Dali, like Salvador Dali.
Yo, bro, I want to thank you for taking me there. You introduced me to that dude when we went to.
Oh yeah.
When we went on the Florida run.
Oh yeah.
In Tampa,
yeah.
we went to the museum. I knew nothing about that kid. You brought me there. Thank you, dog.
The museum in St. Petersburg.
Of course,
The
dude.
museum in St. Petersburg.
That's what it is. Yeah. Yup, dog. That
Yes.
Salvador Dali was probably one of my most recent discoveries in art that really just opened up another fucking layer to the shit for me.
And
Dude, I'm glad you dug it.
He's
bro.
the shining example of a motherfucker that just be trying shit to me.
And speaking of Salvador Dali, man, my dad always talks about Salvador Dali like the guy that would just have these visions when he would smoke weed.
You feel me? I know about the visions. Same thing with look. You ever dug
It's
into
so
Nikola
accurate.
Tesla? You
Yeah,
never dug into Tesla?
absolutely.
He used to have
Absolutely.
visions, dog. Everything I make, I see it first.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, bro.
That happened a lot.
Like when I heard them say that about all those individuals and Dali and all that.
You connected, yeah.
I was like,
Yes.
oh man, these are my
It
guys.
resonated. Yeah.
Where y'all drinking beer at? I'm coming. You know, I belong there.
Yo, I was recently in LA, and you can go to the Griffith Observatory and see the Tesla coil. Did you check that out?
No, I need
it's
to. I was
fucking
working.
tight.
I should have done more sightseeing like that.
Let me show you this. It's a very short video.
All right, everyone, I'm watching the video.
And when you were in LA, John, you definitely like got to like check out some pretty badass stuff. Like you went to do some interviews in LA, right? Or was it in what part of California was it that you were doing some radio interviews for Bubble Bath?
Oh, I did more interviews for Bubble Bath over in Albuquerque, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
They got sort of released when I was over in Los Angeles.
Sick.
But
That album.
it's awesome, right?
What video is that so people can check it out?
Oh yeah, that's like I just took a little video of the
It's John's
of them running the
personal
Tesla coil
video.
over at the Griffith Observatory
tight.
at the
That's
top
tight.
of the mountain over in
No,
Los
the
Angeles.
motherfucker that did like the person, like him being the person that did that, got to be one of the coolest things. Like because this is one thing that amazed me about our technological advances. They're being made off of things that were always here.
Exactly. You got to know where you came from to know where you're going.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so to me, this doesn't make this stuff necessarily new, right? Like, because it's not like we created a new material, like out of thin air or something. And, you know, like literally this electricity been flying over our heads, on our feet running through our body. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like how we communicate now with our phones and shit. Like this airspace has been available to do this. It's not like we got the update on Earth and now we could do it. You feel what I'm saying?
Nature possesses everything. I mean, like colors
Right,
come
so-
from nature. You know, like you see the way that people make colors in the Amazon to paint, do that stuff. I mean, that's profound as well. Just like using things that have been around and that are around truly in nature, and using those things to create and that's where metals are at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're all in the dirt. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. But being the one that realized, hey y'all, look, we could do this, and they fucking shift the entire, you know, human evolution into a whole nother direction.
Those guys are profound. Those guys are.
Man, I'm like, why I ain't been heard of this dude? Why I had to be, you know, that's this old. Yeah. You know, if I found out about him when I was a kid, how just fucking nerded out I'd have been about that shit. I mean, I'm nerded out now, but just as a kid, it's so much more pure and everything else.
Yeah,
What,
you know what I mean?
Like how'd you
Follow
stumble
it.
upon him, man?
Huh?
How'd you stumble upon him?
J Electronica.
Hell to the yeah, because he used that picture of him running the coil over in his lab.
J Electronica, dog.
Exhibit A, Exhibit C.
And then the movie, The Prestige. I love that movie, dog. I love that movie. I haven't seen that movie, I don't think. For reasons I can't even all the way articulate. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like the dude found the real magic, and that's from that movie. I tell my kids magic is real. It just don't look like what you think it does. You know what I'm saying? It's not pulling rabbits out of hats. You know what I'm saying? It's like other elements and stuff around us that we could really, you could really transform things just if you understand the laws of nature. You know what I'm saying? Just the fact that we can make food growing out. Food growing out the ground is magic, my nigga. Like you put a fucking seed in and water it, and we fucking grubbing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Eating food and everybody's happy, nigga. That's magic. Fuck that rabbit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, wow, you can make the rabbit disappear. I wasn't paying attention. Can we cook them? Like, nigga, that's magic.
Dude, that's one of the things that I think growing up in New Mexico really taught me was that like people who have it really rough and have no good soil, or it's like very dry, very hot, just shit doesn't grow there.
That's a wild.
You got to make
paradigm.
it happen.
Yeah,
and they do make it happen. And like the pride that's associated with just like being able to grow a crop and like be able to provide for your friends, family, and anybody else. No, don't worry about it. We got you. We got enough corn for like the whole season. You can have some. You know what I mean? And we'll sell it. Like that whole culture meant so much growing up out there.
That's real magic.
I mean, New Mexico is very magical. It's very much a magical place, man. There's so much like Native American culture still very present. I mean, and that's magical. But even just like the spiritual nature of the psychedelics and the culture with psychedelics in New Mexico. I mean, the first church that got FDA approval for ayahuasca use, which was an FDA União de Vegetal church out of Brazil that was started in Santa Fe, was where they started doing that. But why I'm not entirely down with it just because they sing songs about Jesus and they have ayahuasca experiences, and it's in my culture in Colombia, but they're not singing songs about Jesus, but singing songs to different spirits in the jungle. So I'd rather go about doing ayahuasca down there in that experience. But I got really into DMT, and DMT's got a deep connection with Albuquerque, New Mexico, man.
Really? I tried it once. I didn't have a trip. Most drugs I tried, I never tripped, so I just never do them again.
But why did you have a good trip? Like, did you only smoke it once or twice? And
yeah, I guess I didn't keep going, but the person I took the hit with, they had a full trip off the same hit that I just took, and I just watched them have it. And I never tried to test my tolerance. I'm a bigger guy though.
Are you not about that? Like, would you be down to do it?
I'll probably do it again. It's just like I tried it and I just never returned to it again.
There's
Same
a lot of
thing with
shrooms.
I didn't have a trip when I tried shrooms.
What do you mean? Like, how much did you have?
I don't know.
Small bit? Like less than a palm
have been. I just know I ate shrooms, though.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, I don't even feel it. Like, I giggled a little, but I didn't have
just saying because you already talked about it, but the tolerance thing is like what I've always dealt with people trying to do DMT, because people are like, yo, I want to try it. Then I sit down and they're like, I'm scared. I just want to try a little bit, and so they hit once or twice, and I'm like, there's not enough times. Like, you have to hit it 4 times in order to truly experience what DMT is.
So let me tell you what happened to me though that let me feel at ease about why I didn't trip. She tripped. I didn't. I watched her have it. When I watched her, what she was experiencing on the outside, right, and she was having a trip on the inside. She came out of it. It was rough the whole time. When she finally came back to it, and she walked me through everything she experienced, and her telling me what was happening on the inside while I was witnessing the outside of her, like, piecing reality back together, the whole nine, like just coming back out of it and then telling me about it. I can honestly say I've had similar experiences like that sober. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like her trip, I was like, really? That made you do that? I'd done that at least 3 times in my life. Just kind of like getting lost in thought or in total meditative, relaxed state. And I just zip off into this place and come back. I can say I've been there in my mind.
So the experience and the reality of what you're talking about is that DMT is naturally produced in our bodies.
And I think I might got the plug on it.
No, it's in all of us, man. We're all carrying.
Yeah.
We're all carrying, bro.
Right.
So
and I think I've accessed it. Let me say that. I think I've accessed it on my own without needing it.
And there's holotropic breathing. There's so much. There's Kundalini yoga. There are experiences that you can do sober to truly get to that same place. I haven't experienced the sober experiences more as I have the actual psychedelic experiences.
Yeah.
By going in, like DMT, I learned about when I was in New Orleans. Actually, I came out here for a semester at the University of New Orleans in 2012, just from like January to May to June, and then I came back to New Mexico. But I learned about that documentary, and I saw it. Joe Rogan narrated it, and it was connected to New Mexico because it's all about the study that was done, and it was the first FDA-approved, research through a university. It was done at the University of New Mexico by this professor named Dr. Rick Strassman. And I was like, holy shit, that's done at my fucking university. That's where I got my degree. Right. And so when I got into it and learned about it, I was like, all right, I'm going to go in. And so I learned about it and studied it for about a year and two months. And my drummer friend, who got me really into smoking, but first turned me on to what DMT was and stuff, he got me hip to it. But right before that, right around the new year, that same year, 2012, going into 2013, I tried my first real psychedelic, which was mushrooms, and I tried a big dose of it.
Oh.
And then I fucked up, and I did another dose the next day, which was even worse.
Right.
Just because the second day, some stuff had frozen up at the house because it was, it was around Christmas time, the New Year. And so the pipes froze up because it was so cold overnight. Over there? Oh yeah, it gets -0 for sure up in these mountains.
I didn't know that.
And the pipes froze up, and I had to have this guy come over and help me out with all that. And I felt bad because the dogs, I had 2 dogs and a cat that I was taking care of and stuff. And I was tripping balls and threw up. And this guy showed up, and I was starting to trip while he was there, and I was trying to explain to him what happened, and the experience was just, it just folded.
Sounds like a lot, man. Sounds like a lot.
In a way, yeah. In a way that truly made me learn a lot about myself. Right? No, it's a laughable experience, bro. But like at the end of all of that, and at the end of the 2 days that I went through all of those things that I went through, I mean, the first day was profound, and I felt like I had a language being spoken to me through gibberish and almost like theme and variations, like in classical music. But through the second day and through going through all that, like, all those obstacles, I faced the deepest, darkest thing that I held at that point as my biggest fear, which was being alone.
Yeah.
And I just fucking brought it face first and just dealt with it and just cried through it. I was tripping balls and called my dad.
Yeah.
And was just like, I'm so alone, He felt bad. He was traveling.
Oh, no.
And it was just like, he's like, I'm sorry. Do you want me to, I can bring you out here tomorrow. I'm so sorry. I was like, no, I'm fine. I just realizing I'm just so alone.
How old you were?
2012. This 2000, it was 4 years ago, right? 6 years ago?
6 years
ago.
Yeah,
so I was 23 years old. And, and then later that year,
just like a double mushroom day trip. Yeah. That's intense, bro.
It was intense, yeah. So I definitely didn't have that, no tolerance experience, but I also went into it learning a lot about it and trying to understand what it was or what it could be for you if you went into it looking for spiritual experience as opposed to just like, something for fun. Because psychedelics can be certainly something that you just do for fun if you're at a show, but every time I've done them, I try to create some sort of ritual around them and do them with some sort of intention,
Got it.
Yo, but to wrap all this stuff up, man, we've been going for an hour and a half, and I almost an hour and a half. I really appreciate you coming on this podcast.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this album.
Therapy is about like 8-9 songs. We're going to put out my man Prospect.
When are you thinking about putting it out?
Probably in the next 2 months.
The next 2 months, nice.
Yeah. Probably next 2 months.
So by like November? Something like that?
Yeah, by November-ish.
Well, I'm excited to hear it, man. And it's going to be available everywhere. I know I'm going to put some links to your website so people can check out your artwork and all of that stuff, through the podcast and stuff. But I just wanted to ask you one more thing about your creative process, man.
What's that?
Now, with becoming a father, you became a father at what age?
21.
So you said you really like started coming into your own as a rapper at 29, right?
As far as the world knowing what's up with me, yeah.
Right. Of course, you said you started at 10, and you really started getting into it at 17, right?
Yeah, the world started recognizing.
21, you became a father, right?
Yes.
And you were doing art and stuff before that, or was that also
my whole
like
life?
in your mid-20s?
Everything you know me for, I done it my whole
So
life.
like, how much did my question digging with all this stuff is like, how much did becoming a father change your life as an artist?
It was. I don't know. It kind of fueled it. I kind of took them all in stride. Like I took being a father in stride. Like I had my big panic when I first found out we was pregnant, but then when she came here, I took it all in stride. It's like my studio used to be in my daughter's walk-in closet. You know what I'm saying? Like they were just a part of everything else I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I had her own. Like I did. When she was a baby, I made a song out of her little cries called it "The Baby Blues." It sounded like some Sesame Street shit. Just like they were all mixed in with it. It added to it. I didn't feel a big fatherhood, though it's a big responsibility. I took it on like I don't know. It's just something that happened one day, and I rolled with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that blossomed just like my art blossomed. I don't think it affected it in no kind of way.
Right.
Like I got pictures of me. I kept making beats. Now I just got my daughter tugging at my leg while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's how it has to be, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
All right, man. And where do you see yourself in 10 years? You said you're 34, 37?
37. So when I'm 47, where would I like to see myself?
I mean, sure.
In a place of ownership and just have the ability to execute the ideas that I want to see come to life. That's the plainest I could put that. You know, I just want to be able to hold my own in this world, live on my own merit, to put it in a more worldly way. I want a whole lot of money for these ideas I'm making and allowing them to make me make bigger and better ideas.
Yes, sir.
Like really, I hope this album bring enough to make the next album doper. And we just gonna repeat it like that. Like I don't have this Mount Kilimanjaro in front of me that I planned as my goal. Like my goal is to create and just make sure I get my just due off of it, so I can keep creating.
I really appreciate you coming on this podcast, my man.
Nah, it's all good, bro.
This has been a lot of fun, man.
Bro.
This was cool. I haven't had a session like this in a while.
Yo.
I got one thing I would like to bring out real quick.
Yeah.
Let me go grab it.
All right.
Fucking sick. Because it relates to all that art stuff.
All right, we got a color wheel in the building.
Oh,
yeah.
What you got, John?
Everybody knows what's up. You know, your color wheel. If you ever get into painting or you ever were over at the art class in school and you had to go check one of these out.
I use it.
Still got one.
I use it.
You know what I'm saying? Here's what's I've been checking out and what's been on my mind lately is like checking out people who talk about synesthesia. And like when we were talking about seeing and the vision and also hearing the music for it and feeling what it would feel like if it touched you and also like kind of what it smelled like, the whole scenario and the whole scene, it just all just kind of comes as one and you just like channel it.
Yeah.
Your antenna. What from there is like, how does the natural order of things play out from there? Right? Why do things line up the way they line up? This chaos that we have as life, right?
Right.
And so one of the cool things in messing around with painting and color is that the color wheel right here going from infrared to ultraviolet lines up with the musical octave. 12 tones to an octave in the Western musical system.
Really?
From C to C. C chromatically up to C is in...
Let me see that.
Yeah. If A is tuned to 440 hertz...
wow.
Then
it does.
C, middle C...
It fucking
going
does.
divided at an equal temperament, 12 notes per dividing the octave, equal temperament, half steps between them, with a little bit of variation in there.
Yes, that's crazy.
That is the way painters typically break up the color wheel. And middle C if you take 440 middle C and speed that wave up to where that note becomes 40 octaves higher than that note as it sounds, it will produce the color about lime green. And that's where musical C is.
Wow, this is way more. This is not how you end it. This is how you extend it an hour.
I mean, we certainly
got to
can if
follow
that's the
up on
vibe. You know
this.
what I'm saying? But right, that's part 2.
That is, all right, Ray, this was a Ray Kurzweil moment brought to you by
Mr. John Maestas. My mama is.
Shit, that's the shit I've been getting into, bro.
That's what's up, dog.
And as the wheel moves from there, so like as you go around the wheel, this directly links up to the circle of fourths and fifths in music.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Moving through the keys through the cycle of fifths or cycle of fourths, depending if you're moving up or down. Right. And so that stuff has kind of been on my brain about like, well, how does the chaos order itself? Why do we see what we see? And then one of the cool things I was messing around with and exploring this just like as a next thought was like in different parts of the world, people tune to like different hertz, to different intonations, you know, especially, you know, that in Middle Eastern music, there's a lot of quarter tones and like, and like I can't even do it singing it, but you get the vibes. And like that type of musical tuning is not necessarily A440. It might be lower, like A432. It might be higher, like A449.
Right.
And so that, along with the atmosphere and the ionosphere of Earth, all change how the color spectrum like blends and how fast it blends and what hues are more pronounced.
Right.
Like, so how do you know that the green that you see is the green that someone in India sees? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you know that the gray blue sky isn't just gray to someone else?
Mm-hmm.
And that can be affected by where you are in the world.
Yeah, perspective. Position dictates perspective. And though that's, what I'm hearing is we're seeing the same green, but his is a slight shade, something based on where he is, you know. So now you got Arabic green. Like I was looking at colors the other day and just how many fucking whites there was to choose from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Technically they're all white, but it's like, and the more you put them together, the more you can see this one has a little more of this in it. This one has a pink undertone. This one has a blue undertone. You know, so we all see the same thing from a slightly different angle. You know, it's all these things are universal. You know, there's Chinese rice, there's American rice, there's Italian rice. You know what I mean? Like, there's mad versions of the same old thing.
To write is what's important, you know.
Yeah. This is bugged out. This is a lot of weed. I'm tired of I'm tangity.
Getting tangity.
Yeah.
I appreciate
you just fucked my head up.
I appreciate you with that idea because that fucked me up.
As soon as he said 12 notes and I looked at that color wheel, I said, hold up.
Yeah.
The primary colors are 3.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
3 goes into 12 4 times.
He was telling
me that color wheel.
What was that saying? You were saying Roy, what was it called?
Roy G. Biv.
Yeah, Roger Bill.
Right.
Red, orange, yellow, green, blue.
Right. All right. So I didn't even remember that much. You know what I'm saying? So when he showed me all that, I was just like, oh shit, how do you remember the fucking
Everything has an order, man. Everything has an order. Everything has a formula.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Forget indigo.
Yes.
So I like to go all that golden ratio shit, all that bugged out shit.
Right. Yes, sir.
Like I'm recently discovering that in the last like 2 years of my life. Like just I don't know, it's like I uncovered the Holy Grail or something. Like I see the world in a whole nother light.
A lot of
Dead Sea Scrolls of art.
Ooh.
Yeah. One of the coolest things that we got exposed to back in Albuquerque that I really loved about it is like we had this planetarium, and on Fridays, first Friday of the month, they had the most like stony idea shit ever, and they had a fractal show. First Friday fractals, and a guy would nerd out and make these visuals on the planetarium screen of diving into fractal mathematical equations, and you just visualize it. And then his brother made like a Pink Floyd-y kind of soundtrack behind it.
Yeah.
So you just go in there and zone the fuck out and like dive into math, but
that's crazy.
Through images, right?
Yeah.
And we would do that, and like just my friends and shit, and like you could just go there. It was just free. First Friday fractals.
That's crazy, though. Yeah.
Got lucky to like have a crazy ass city like Albuquerque on that one, you know.
I bet. Word to Breaking Bad. Ain't that what Breaking Bad was?
Yeah.
Y'all get a bad rap, man.
They got this shit. I know they do. We do. It's got some bad rap. That definitely didn't help our city at all.
At least people know about it though, because most places I go to, everyone is like, "Oh, you're from." They're like, "Where you from?" I'm like, "New Mexico." They're like, "Oh, your English is so good."
Yeah.
No.
Boy, stop.
New Mexico. Is it between Texas and
What that
Arizona?
is?
Check this out. So this is how cool that Albuquerque is with art. This is a new digital interactive art museum that's at Albuquerque in the downtown area. And it's really badass. XYZT is the exhibition. And you can like interact with these sensors and screens and projections that then like react exactly to your movement.
That's crazy.
I mean, art can be such a crazy expression too, man. Like my dad and I, everywhere that my dad and I go to, we always go to different museums and art exhibits all over the place.
Yeah.
We were just in New York at the Guggenheim, which was a fucking amazing, gorgeous fucking building that Frank Lloyd Wright built. And going all the way up to the top, there was a lot of beautiful, beautiful art. And there was one section that had this art from a Japanese pair of artists. And there was, a section of it that was just, it was a trip, man. It was very, very like computer based and like very interesting, like digital animation stuff that was for people to sit down and just experience and allow it to kind of show this fucked up narrative, which is often like a part of an art installation. It's like you walk through a room with like TV set up all up on like a pyramid, or like all playing these different things, or even just one or two like TVs playing like fucked up, totally different things that are completely random, just meant to like make you think about shit. It's like these weird art pieces, and New Mexico's got a lot of that shit. We also have this place called Meow Wolf that is pretty fucking badass.
Right.
But when you get out there, bro, we'll show you all that stuff, man. And
I'm definitely coming back.
We'll definitely do a part 2, and I really appreciate you coming by, bro. And thank you, John, for being on Our Talk Music. And until the next time.
Yeah, great to talk with you. It's going to be interesting to listen back to.
Yo, and I'll definitely put all the links so people can check out the album whenever it comes out in November.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for coming out, all right?
My man.
Can't wait to check that album, too.
That was the episode. Thank y'all so much for listening. I highly recommend you go follow Mr. Nesby Phips' stuff, his artwork, his music, as well as go check out that entire full album that is available everywhere called Therapy. That first song you heard at the very beginning before the actual interview started is called Hello. And this next song is a beautiful tune, like I said, that is featured on the Grid hip-hop band's album called Evasive Maneuvers. And this song is called The Beginning.
It's too large to be seen. It's too loud to be heard. Disregard who believes. And he told you that he wasn't coming back. This was the last time. This is the after party of God's return. All that you see was left to burn. Your destiny is incineration. It's not the life of a sinner sacred. That you feel you was exposed as a demon. I ain't agreeing, cause what rose from the ashes was a phoenix. Judge not, ye shall. does not apply in this world. Salvation's no longer on retail. Can't survive off the just need the details. If you're gonna fly off the hip, well, time don't exist. And if you ain't the sun, then your shine don't mean shit. Your vanity bring calamity, that's why you gon' get clipped. I roam only where the strong belong, and not a terror dome's my home. Try to define war without peace. Try and define God without me. No property lines when all I can see owns me. So I profess I am no greater than I am lesser. With that saying, ain't nothing wrong with my yang. So I'm yinning. And it was a part of the plan from the beginning. Really, I'm just living a dash, winning the flash. I'm swimming but still feeling the splash.